Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and welcome back to another review. This time of The Expendables 3. Once again, let me say the reason I have this is I know someone around here who, they know I'm a Stallone fan, and so they got this along with a few others as a gift. And I took it because A, it was a gift, and B, for the collection, and C, because I knew one day I wanted to do a Stallone marathon, and D, it's free, and E, see what this unrated edition was, which is there's a few extended action at the end, but if you're looking for blood, violence type of stuff, no, bunch of bullshit. Granted, because this is unrated doesn't mean that's what it's going to be, but it's just, I think when I did this long ago, when I reviewed this movie, when it came out in theaters, I probably did say something like it's Stallone's worst. I hate this film. After watching this movie, do I think it's Stallone's worst? No. I hate the film. Believe me, I hate it, and I'll get in depth why. At least I like Mel Gibson. He doesn't have much to do, which sucks. But when he's there, I think he shines. Especially a scene where he gives some dialogue with Stallone, and you see a bit of that Martin Riggs in him. I love that. Harrison Ford, I think, is fun. He has the one F word. You fucked up. I like Harrison Ford in it. And I mean, I just say Spy Kids 3 is Sly's worst. I didn't say films like Rebel or Driven or Avenging Angelo are worse. And I think even Escape Plan and Bullet to the Head pissed me off more. No, I don't know if they pissed me off more, but Escape Plan does piss me off more because I'm like, it's Arnold and Sly together. While this, I was disappointed in the second film, and like I knew something was coming, and still, it's like, what the fuck did you do this for? And that's what pisses me off about it. So, is it Sly's worst film? No, that's going to be Spy Kids 3. It'll always be Spy Kids 3. Is it in his top 3 worst? No, I think Avenging Angelo is worst. That's a fucking boring as shit film. And there's no Harrison Ford and Mel Gibson in that movie, let alone stuff. And Rebel, if you've ever seen that, that's a boring piece of shit. But saying all that, the reason I do hate this film, like Escape Plan and Bullet to the Head, they're 3 films that could have been good. They're 3 films that could have been great Stallone movies, as well as great movies in general, in the action genre. Yeah, we're not looking at Shakespeare, but we're looking at entertainment. Escape Plan could have been entertaining if you had Stallone and Schwarzenegger going full force, full attitude, fucking up these people in this prison, destroying the entire fucking prison, getting to the prison armory, gearing up and just unleashing a tidal wave of Death Wish 3 mayhem. Yes, Death Wish 3 kicks ass. I don't care what anyone says, it's a badass movie. That's what Escape Plan should have taken notes from. Death Wish 3, old guy kicking ass like a motherfucker like Charles Bronson did in that movie. No. They failed and they fucked up. Bullet to the Head. Walter Hill, the guy who did 48 Hours and Red Heat. You did Stallone and the original person who was going to do it, Thomas Jane, before you fired his ass because he's white and we need an ethnic guy for foreign markets. So you did some shitty Mortal Kombat wannabe sounding motherfucker named Sun Kane, Liu Kane's brother, to be it. He sought, and granted the script sought. But that's the thing. Thomas Jane, Stallone together, get a good fucking script, get good fucking action. No, you don't have that, so you fucked that up. And then Expendables 2 is disappointing me. I said why in that long-ass rambling video. This will be a long video, I'm sure, too. But I'm like, Expendables 2, there's part of my brain that goes, could it be worse? And other part going, yes, it will be worse. And this could have been good. And you fucked it up so badly. It's insane. You get this fucking guy named Patrick Hughes who only did some tiny little budgeted flick called Red Hill that I haven't seen, but I can't think it's that impressive that you give him this. And then you give fucking the opening scene. This sums it up. The opening action scene sets up these guys rescuing Wesley Snipes from this train. They do all that, and then Wesley Snipes, this guy here, who's way in the background, he's in the film for like 5 minutes, spread throughout. Say 7 minutes. Say 7 minutes throughout the film, spread out. The opening fucking scene is a big setup of rescuing Wesley Snipes' character, only to then use him for 7 fucking minutes. How stupid do you have to be? Why did you have all this setup of rescuing Wesley Snipes and then not use him? Yeah. Yeah, this stupid fucking idea of getting the new generation involved with this. Getting the new generation of, we want to join that crowd. Yeah, the crowd that don't give a fuck about you, Sly. We want to get these new people and we want to be PG-13 to make more money and join that crowd. The crowd, there are exceptions. There are young people who do like you and Sly. You and Sly. You and Arnold and Van Damme. But a lot of them don't. Or a lot of them look down at you. These are the people using the words cheesy about your movies. These are the people that look at your movies and laugh at them. These are the people who laugh at your old, man, they're over the top, that's so stupid, like a Cobra, fucking shit. And Running Man, that's goofy, cheesy shit. Hard Target, fuck that movie, it's fucking cheesy. It's corny. It's laughable. You can't do that nowadays. These are the people you're trying to... I mean, I guess you're thinking logically on some sort of, well, the fans will see it, so we'll try to win them over. But at this point, they're not going to be won over. Those movies I mentioned are 100 times better, and I'm not saying that as an over-the-top number. That movie, Running Man, Predator, Rambo films, all of them, they are 100 times better than this movie. And if they're not going to be won over by that movie, they're certainly not going to be won over by this movie. So, but you're playing to that. And also, the whole point of the Expendables, I thought, was that it was old school action stars coming back for one last game, one last joy, one last momentum on the big screen. And you did a turncoat. You sold out. I love Sly. People say that's a harsh word, but you make it a PG-13 wannabe Mission Impossible for a section, which I'll get to. Introducing all of these new people and every single one of these newer, younger guys. The younger guys suck fucking assholes and dickholes. Suck it all up like a fucking vacuum cleaner. Ronda Rousey, I don't give a fuck about her or her fat ass mole. Victor Ortiz, he can box himself and knock himself the fuck out. Kellan Lutz, it's because, oh, his daughters like Twilight. Your daughter's not going to see the movie. Sly? People who see Twilight are not going to see Expendables 3. Unless they saw Twilight in protest. Or because they got dragged into it. But not going to see fucking Expendables 3. I don't need some Twilight Fairy fuck. I don't need some fucking guy named Glen Powell who all he does is climb and he has a CGI parachute shoot out of his ass. Wow. They all suck. So you get a bloodless movie, a boring movie. It's over 2 fucking hours long. Even the theatrical cut was over 2 hours long. And then its unrated cut adds about 5 minutes more. Give or take. It's an over 2 hour movie, and there's less action than the previous 2 movies. 45 to 50 minutes of this fucking film has no Expendables, and a movie called The fucking Expendables. Think about that. How is that? You know, one thing I mentioned before was logic, logically speaking. But again, this movie is a definition of illogic. Why would you think making it PG-13 would appeal to people if they didn't watch the first 2 movies? You really think they're just going to go into the 3rd movie? No, the people who are coming in are fans. Fans of Sly, fans of Arnold, fans of Wesley Snipes, fans of Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren, which I'll get to that. And you do nothing with them. And you pussify the action, you castrate it, you sand off that castration. Oh, we'll do Expendables 4 and then they'll be rated R. Well, story is Sly is not going to be in it. Then, oh, well, he'll do it if there's any, changes, or then Arnold said he's not going to do it if Sly's not going to do it. This killed the franchise. There's a nice guy on here. I hope he does come back making videos. And he mentioned this about, it was his one channel was Dram 70, Mr. 707 Legend. I probably said that name wrong now. But he mentioned RoboCop 3. I'm like, he's right. RoboCop 3 killed that franchise. Just like this movie killed the franchise. It did. It killed the franchise. It went down with Expendables 2, but this outright murdered it. It went in the back seat and fucked it in the ass with no lube. And then it broke its neck. If you wonder what I'm doing, Mr. 707 Legend, yeah. I hope he comes back. I liked his videos. Nice guy. And it's almost as if they said, oh, the stuff you didn't like in the previous one, we're going to amplify that more. You didn't like any CGI in those previous films? We're going to give you more shitty CGI. Like the beginning on the train and the CGI cable bouncing people off the top of the train in CGI fashion. Or when the train goes into the compound and blows up all in CGI fashion. Or the ending of the film when Stallone is jumping to the helicopter and the building and smoke blows up in CGI as if it's a fucking asylum film. So let's give you more of that. Remember the younger, newer people we brought in Expendables 2? Expendables 2? The people you didn't like fucking Liam Hemsworth and Yunnan. Remember those 2 people you didn't like? Let's bring you more new people to not like. Ronda Rousey? She has a shitty fight in a bar, she has a fat ass mole, and then she fights a little bit at the end. Glen Powell, he's climbing, he fucks up, a CGI parachute shoots out of his ass. At the end of the film, he fucking climbs for 20 minutes. That's pretty much it. Victor Ortiz, he's out. He's at where is he at? He's at a training facility, training, shooting this gun, but you never see the gun again. Like, they hire him because all he can do is shoot this big-ass fucking gun, and then he never has that gun anyway. He just has a normal shotgun. But, like, he has a gun that, like, blows the shit out of everything, but I guess he don't take that fucking gun with him. No. Like, all they did was hire this guy because he had a... I'm getting ahead of myself about the plot. And then Kellan Lutz, his character, he threw a fight for money. And for some reason, Sly, I see a little of you in myself, so you're hired. So he lost, and he lost on purpose for money, and that makes him a candidate. They do. And then the one guy that actually does some crazy shit, like Antonio Banderas, he's doing flips, and he's doing stuff that would make Jim Cotta cream in his pants. Fucking... No, you're too old. Kelsey Grammer's like, yeah, you're too old. He did the most impressive display, and... this movie doesn't make any... God. Dolph Lundgren, let's give him nothing to do. In the first film, warning shot, shoots a guy, blows him in half. Blows him up in half. Little low. To, what does he do in this movie? I'll give you his entire thing in this movie. There's one scene where he kind of snipes 2 or 3 guys. He gets in a tank, drives a tank, so that Couture can shoot another tank. Oh, and before that, he brought this thing on his wrist that Glen Powell takes and makes it so that this bomb doesn't explode. That's Dolph Lundgren. The Punisher. I Come in Peace. Showdown Low Tokyo. Red Scorpion. Spetsnaz. That's all he gets to do in this movie. That's it. Total fucking waste. Dolph Lundgren, again, I love Dolph. Underrated, underappreciated. He got fucked over. Jet Li, he comes in at the end. He shoots from a helicopter along with Arnold. There's an extended scene where he shoots a couple bad guys on a rooftop. That's all Jet Li does in this movie. Complete waste. Wesley Snipes. This whole setup of bringing him back. Give him shitty dialogue. Cuts these people up with no blood. Totally wastes his character. Statham barely has anything to do. I mean, just like 45, 50 minutes of movie, they disappear. It's a stupid idea. It was a stupid concept. It was a betrayal to what the whole point of the Expendables was about. It was a fucking sellout movie. Yeah, I know it got leaked. But honestly, even if it wasn't leaked, it would have bombed. Because each film made less and less money, and then you have a PG-13 version with all these new people that no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit about fucking Powell or Ortiz or Lutz, Klutz, motherfucker, or Rousey, Drowsy. Sao Powell, Klutz Lutz, Drowsy Rousey, and fucking Sneeze Ortiz. That's what they should be fucking called. Best way to do is go back to the beginning. Just go step by step in this film. Like the whole scene with the train at the beginning, and the CGI table bouncing up people off top in CGI. Even the unrated version, there's no blood and anything. Wesley Snipes, for some reason, is this Hannibal Lecter garb. They let him out. Wesley goes crazy. He runs towards the top of the train, kills a few people. For some reason, again, I know Expendables are not the smartest movies, but this... Biodome is a smarter movie than this. Fucking Biodome. Why the fuck... This train is going to this compound. there are no tracks after the compound. I guess it's one of those trains that once you go in, you don't go out. Like, it's not even the compound is right next to it and it can keep going. No, literally, the compound is this. It goes here, and I guess it's going to go backwards, or is it going to stay there forever? And why the fuck Wesley gets to his guns? Why are these? And you can't move the guns like much. It's one of those centered guns in front of the train. Why would that be there? So if there's a train coming at them, they can shoot them because there's nothing else they can shoot because they can't move the here or here or here or here. It's set right there. So that means as long as the bad guys move right in front of the train, then they can shoot them. That's why you put them on top of a train and you can maneuver. No, it's right in front of the train. I'm like, it's only here just so Wesley can shoot at this compound, blow up in CGI fashion, jump to the helicopter, the train goes in and blows up in more CGI fashion. I'm like, that turn from the, like, the, it's like, wait a minute, I know these are, dumb movies, but this is just too much. This is just the beginning. It's not fun. It's not exciting. It's too much CGI. It's boring. It's the most boring opening of any of the Expendables. I'll give more credit to the opening of Expendables 2 compared to this. Fucking horse shit. And then Wesley giving terrible dialogue. What were you in jail for? Tax evasion. Yeah, great. You bring Wesley back to break him out of jail after he got out of jail, and then you give him tax evasion. Give me a fucking break, man. I feel bad for Wesley. I do. I'm sorry, I do. And talking about the dog tags, oh, that sound they make. Ginaline, Ginaline. And I was tired of him saying Ginaline. Ginaline, Ginaline. It was annoying. It was horrible dialogue Wesley was given. And again, it was a waste of his talent. They go on a mission for this arms dealer. They don't quite know who he is. They did add something in the unrated where you hear Wesley go into a building, like in a room, and he goes, "Happy New Year, motherfuckers." I like that one line. Dolph snipers 3 people. Snipes goes into this crane, kills a few folks. There's one shot they added where you have an up close where Snipes has a knife to someone and does this. But I guess everyone in this movie, bad guy wise, I guess they're made of dust. Or I guess Mel Gibson just has a mannequin army. Maybe that's where they have a mannequin army. Because none of them bleed. They get shot, they get cut, they get their throats cut, but no one bleeds, including in the unrated version. And people go, well, which is better? Or which is worse? No blood or CGI blood? Just do fucking practical blood. It doesn't cost that fucking much, man. Low budget slasher films that cost $50 did it in the 80s. I think you can afford it. Those slasher films in the 80s cost as much as your fucking catering budget. Maybe you should have, what the hell expenses are. I'm sure you can afford blood squibs and blood. For fuck's sake. I don't get these movies nowadays that do that. You have, what, a $90 million budget? I think you can afford it if movies that cost $2 million or $500,000 back in the 80s had shitloads of it. Give me a fucking break. They do it because of time. Oh, no, the continuity. And if it screws up, we gotta do it again. You know what? Making movies isn't fucking easy. It's not supposed to be fucking easy. It's supposed to be hard work. And then the hard work pays off. But when you're lazy, you get this horse shit. This is lazy. Everything about this is fucking lazy. That's why people hated it. It's not the only reason, but it's one of them. Hire some fucking artists to get some fucking blood packs, get some fucking makeup effects, make some fucking fake blood, some Carol syrup, and use the shit. Fucking back in the day, you watch movies like Total Recall with Arnold. Arnold grabs a guy. But no, we can't fucking have that anymore because it's good. Because I guess we can't have good things anymore. We gotta have shit. Although, really enough, this year has been a good year so far. I love John Wick 2, Console Island. I liked the new Fast and Furious film, Logan, Get Out. So it's been a good year so far. But we will never see that fucking type of violence and action because it's not just people want blood. It gives impact. It gives intensity. It gives the point that there is a consequence to these actions. When you shoot at someone, they don't just fall down like an old Roy Rogers movie or old John Wayne movie. No, when they get shot, bad things fucking happen. And it gives you a visceral reaction of ooh, oh, or oh, even if it's just the subtlest thing in your head. They go, ooh. Even if you don't make any facial movements, your brain goes, ooh. When I watch Hard Target and people get shot, ba 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 ba, like ooh, yeah, there's a consequence and there's an impact to it, to what the good guys or the bad guys are doing. When the bad guys shoot the poor homeless guy, there's a consequence to it. There's a payoff to it. Here, there's none of that. And it doesn't work. It does not work at all. And you know what? If the rest of the movie was good, if the rest of the movie had great characterizations, yes, you can, even on a level of a dumb action movie, get rid of the newer people, give some of the people like Wesley Snipes and Dolph more to do, give them more to do, give them less stupid dialogue to say, go practical with explosions, and don't have CGI. Make a rule, have no CGI. If you can't do it for real, then don't do it. Or work around or use models. You know, models, use some model work. Hell, Rambo First Blood Part 2, you have a real helicopter blowing the shit out of an entire village. Rambo 3, you got tanks and shit, and helicopter and a tank going at each other in a dogfight. You watch the ending of Rambo 3, and then you watch the ending of Expendables 3, and you tell me which is better. Rambo 3 all the fucking way. That's why I never understood the hate for Rambo 3. You look at that ending, and then you look at the ending of this shit. So Snipes kills these guys with no blood. Sly sees that the guy they're going after is Mel Gibson. Jumping ahead, he's a guy who helped start the Expendables with Stallone, and Mel went bad. Sly and the team he had at the time went in for Mel. Some of them died, and Mel hates Sly. Sly hates Mel. Mel's the bad guy. He's an arms dealer. And for Stallone, breaks cover like a fucking amateur. Stupid! I would yell it like he did, but I don't want to lose my fucking voice because I know I have a lot more yelling to do. But Stallone just screams like an amateur, gives away their position, so of course now all the bad guys are going to try to kill him. And hell, instead of just shooting Mel Gibson, pop, bang, dead, done. No. Instead of just aiming and shooting at him, he goes, Stonebanks, and then he shoots. I'm like, come on, man. You can make movies can make those mistakes back in the day because it's a learning process. But it's, even this, it was 2014. Come on, you could do better than that. You could come up with a better explanation. Did you come with Mel as a trained expendable from back in the day, so he notices a glim off one of the stopes or something with the light or a bad feeling or a gut feeling or something. So all hell breaks loose. Terry Crews shoots with his minigun, which that was a shitty joke. Okay, before all this, Terry Crews shows off his minigun, and Wesley asks, like, what's that about? And Dolph goes, yeah, that's gonna last you 10 seconds. And Terry, like, he goes, oh, like you do? And Sly's like, oh, he's got you on that one. So, great. Dolph is the butt of jokes again. God, they do it. I feel so bad for Dolph. He gets such this stick up an ass by these guys. I don't know what it is. Does Sly just not like Dolph secretly? Does he just hate Dolph secretly? Does he? To not give him anything to do and be the butt of jokes and be used to do absolute shit all nothing? But going bad. Terry Crews shoots with a minigun. Lasts about 10 seconds. They get in this boring car chase where they get in the vehicle and bad guys are chasing them, and at one point Wesley Snipes shoots some bad guys in another truck, and then they all have to leave that truck to get on another truck. And I don't know what it was about this scene. It was just boring to me. I don't know what it was. If it's just the music or I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I just wasn't. I didn't care. I didn't care what was going on. I don't know if it was the look of the film that looked off to me or the. I felt no adrenaline. I felt no energy to it. I can't really explain why. Just that scene just didn't do anything for me. Did nothing for me. And so then it leads to them on this sort of dock. And Mel Gibson could shoot Stallone, has the scope on Sly, doesn't for some reason because the movie would be over. Goes over, shoots Terry Crews, then drops this bomb. They all jump in the water, explosion. Terry Crews gets fucked up. He's in the hospital. Doesn't die because at the end of the film, when they're at the bar, he comes back. And that's when Sly gets rid of his team because I don't want you guys to die. Which, when I say that, I'm like, okay, he doesn't want his friends to die, but the way they play it off is badly. It makes Barney, Ross, Sly's character look like an asshole, look like a hypocrite, look like a dumbass, especially when we have the first two films where I'm like, well, what about all this shit you did in the first two movies? And then the fact you did a new team that I guess you don't care if they die, it just makes you look very bad, Sly. And this is what no one wanted. Not a fan of the first two movies. Whether you're a fan of the first one or both of them or the second one, whatever. No one wanted that. No one wanted this kind of story. And before I get further, another thing. It's called The Expendables. These movies are called The Expendables. I hate to say it, but people have to die. People have to die. You see all these people on this cover? Other than Mel Gibson, all these people on the cover are good guys. None of them die in the movie. In the first film, the way it was done, sort of a down and dirty, you just see that maybe if they did a sequel, maybe they would kill someone off or two of the actual Expendables, because it was serious, down and dirty. There was some humor, levity, but it was like those films back in the day. I mean, other than some wonky CG and shaky cam, it was like those films back in the day. Expendables 2 was too goofy. And I'm not counting Liam Hemsworth, who just joined up to be in there for 5 minutes and talked about his fucking stray dog who got shot. I'm talking about the actual Expendables. They're called Expendables. You hear stories about how, oh, these Expendables died here, these Expendables died there, but you never see it. And I'm sorry. Some of them have to die. In the second film, instead of Liam Hemsworth, you kill off Randy Couture. That's where it should have been. In this one, you kill... You know what, Terry Crews, kill him off. I like Terry Crews, but, you know, kill Randy Couture. Hell, if you want to make Mel Gibson the baddest bad guy, you kill off some of those Expendables. You kill off Randy Couture. You kill off Terry Crews. Keep Sly, Statham, Dolph, and Wesley. Kill everybody else off in that scene. So it's like, oh shit, there's some consequence to this. There's some reason why we should be angry at the bad guy. Oh, who knows who could die? And some of these new people should have died. Because that's what it's called the Expendables. But they're not expendable because no one is fucking expendable because no one fucking dies. No, I would not want Dolph or Wesley or Jet Li to die. But Antonio Banderas, his character could have died because I didn't give a shit about him. It's fucking Speedy Gonzalez, who would not shut the fuck up. And Fred Topol, no. Crave Online. Well, good thing I never looked at that fucking website. I bet no one looks at Crave Online. What the fuck is Crave Online? Fred Topol. Best Expendables my ass. If you feel that way, to each their own. But you gotta have some people die. It's called the Expendables for a fucking reason, right? Again, think about that. The only person on this cover that dies is Mel Gibson, and because he's the bad guy. Who has a shitty 1-minute fight with Sly, which is lame, lousy, way too fucking short. Look at that many people. Isn't that insane when you think about that? And also, that's another thing. All of these are good guys, except one guy. They're all good guys. Like I said, Expendables 2, you gotta have 50-50. Get some famous people, not just one or two, a group as the bad guys, and then a group as the good guys. Not 80 fucking good guys and one bad guy that you know. That's fucking stupid. And then going back to the movie, Terry Crews gets hurt because you're a dumbass, Sly. It's your fucking fault for blowing the mission going, stupid, it's like a fucking amateur. And before he gets rid of his team, Harrison Ford's there, who has given a shitty joke to say about Bruce Willis. Because Bruce Willis, he was going to be in the film, but he wanted too much money. He was going to work 3 days, and he wanted $1 million a day. He was too greedy. So they give Harrison Ford this line of, he's out of the picture. You get it? Because he's literally out of the picture. And story-wise, does that mean Harrison Ford's group killed Bruce Willis? Does that mean Bruce Willis's character is dead? But yeah, I like Harrison Ford. It's one of the things I do enjoy. I like him saying, you fucked up, and I'm wearing it. I like him. Mel Gibson has this weird thing as a bad guy where he buys his art. It's like, it's shit. What do you want for it? And it's like, okay. And then, so there's a lot of stuff that killed this movie. This was the absolute killer. For the next 45 minutes, nothing happens. Nothing happens. Gets rid of his team. Gets a new team. Meets up with Kelsey Grammer. Kelsey Grammer actually wasn't bad. He's actually one thing I'm like, you know what, Kelsey Grammer, he actually did fine. You know, there's a moment where he says he has a lump in his lungs and Sly's feeling sorry, and then Kelsey goes, nah, that's bullshit. I'm fine. And Sly's like, what? Say, I had you going for, yes, you did, damn it. So Harrison Ford, Kelsey Grammer, and Mel Gibson. Other than that, 45 minutes, computer guy, hacker guy, CGI parachute out of his ass. Ronda Rousey, fat ass mole. Antonio Banderas gives an impressive display of being very agile. No, because he's too old. Victor Ortiz, he can shoot a gun which we never see again. One guy, he took a dive for money. There's your new team. Hat the grid, rappel down a building. Mel Gibson meets Robert Davi, who has 2 fucking lines and then dies. What a waste of Robert Davi. From Maniac Cop 2 and 3, from Predator 2, the bad guy in License to Kill. Timothy Dalton, a great James Bond film. Hell, a lot better than this movie. They go in, they take out, get Mel Gibson. I like the scene when Mel Gibson is tied up in the vehicle and he's talking to Sly. I'll snap my neck or I'll snap your neck. You know, make it snappy. And some guy's laughing. He thinks I'm joking. You know, I'm going to go over there and cut your heart out. Mel Gibson's great. Is that Martin Riggs in his eyes and his voice. I mean, Mel Gibson, he's given this much to do and he turns it into gold. I wish he had more to do. Just like I wish Van Damme. See, the bad guys, Van Damme and Mel Gibson, I wish they had more to do. And more to their fights. God, they ruin good bad guys. Mel Gibson's a great bad guy. Van Damme's a great bad guy. They do nothing with them. The vehicle gets attacked. Stallone gets blown up, blown out into the river. Some bad guys pick him up. He shoots him with his 6-shooter. Goes back. Antonio Banderas meets him. Sly says yes. Banderas won't shut the fuck up. So I call him Speedy Gonzalez. He keeps about nothing. God, he's annoying. I like Antonio Banderas. Love Desperado. I liked Once Upon a Time in Mexico. I'd rather watch Assassins than this. But they made him annoying. And then after 45, 50 fucking minutes, the Expendables are back in an Expendables movie. Yay! And then another place, Harrison Ford is getting on this plane with Arnold and Jet Li. The one moment Antonio Banderas has is this nice scene where he's finally able to calm down, just talk normally, and toss to Sly about this mission that happened. His team didn't let him go. It was a nice day, and everybody died except him. That was a good scene. It's too bad the rest of it, he has to be an annoying chatterbox. But that was a good moment. They get into this building where the new people are tied up with C4. Powell sees the thing Dolph is carrying and jams the signal. Granted, Mel Gibson could have just blown him up like that, but he gives him 45 seconds because he's an idiot. And then you get this boring as fuck finale. And it shouldn't be boring. Because it goes on for 15 minutes and it's this sort of big abandoned building. And even the unrated, there's some extended action bits. Wesley's able to kill a few more people. Jason Statham's given more to do. His fight with the big guy is extended. And some of this, it's some moments I don't mind. Like those extended moments. But, you know, it made me go, why do I think this is so boring then? And that's because you're having to juggle so many different characters. Harrison Ford in a CGI airplane with Arnold and Jet Li fighting other CGI choppers, which look like shit. Then go back to Wesley, who gets knocked out for a bit of the finale, for a chunk of it. Because that's such a great idea. Go to Victor Ortiz with a shotgun, but I don't care about the guy. Killing Lutz in his motorcycle, but I don't care about the guy. Glen Powell climbing into the roof. Don't care about the guy. Ronda Rousey fighting some people, but I don't care about the gal. I don't care about her. Antonio Banderas, Antonio Banderas has more to do than Dolph fucking Lundgren. Antonio Banderas shooting and punching, but I like Antonio Banderas, but I don't care about his character. His character was an annoying chatterbox. If his character died, I would not care. Stallone has a little bit to do, some shooting. Statham. Seems like the good chunk they cut out of the theatrical was Statham doing stuff. He's shooting some bad guys and has an extended fight with the big guy. But before this, Statham really had nothing to do. Now that I think about it, he had nothing really to do. Nothing really to say. So a waste of Statham, too. Waste of Jet Li just shooting from a CGI helicopter. When they land on the roof, he shoots a couple people. Arnold, he's there to say his fucking one-liners again. Get to the chopper. Hey, how about some new one-liners? How about that, Arnold? Can we have some new ones? Can we get some new ones, please? Instead of butchering the old ones? I love Predators, my favorite Arnold film. I love Get to the Chopper. But I don't need to hear it 5 times from you in this movie. And there's just no care, there's no intensity, there's no impact. The music, lame, boring, tedious. A lot of these characters don't care about. Or they're underused. Jet Li and Dolph. Dolph, again, he drives a tank and Randy Couture shoots the tank. That's it. That's all they do in the finale. That is it. If there's something else, I defy anyone to tell me what Dolph does. Something else that he does. It's just, I don't care. And it really goes to show you, you can have stuff shooting, but when people go, you just like mindless shooting, this is an example of no, there's still care in that. As I'm looking at this little window for my webcam, that's a perfect example right there. That finale. We have a director who knows what the fuck he's doing. Uses of slow-mo, the arrow, ba 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 ba. The music that makes the film ratchet up. And, bad guy Lance Harrison get on the action, get on fire himself. Practical blood squib swinging, there's a pacing to it, there's an intensity to it, there's a, grabbing the fire, that's the wood on fire, and slamming down with his leg and punching the shit out of him. Hunting season is over. Headbutt. The mano a mano where Van Damme does the fuck off, kid, fuck off. And Lance raising his gun. Shows that there's, even in an action scene, there's a story to tell. There is none here. It's just, this guy's doing this, but I don't care about that guy. This guy's doing this. I don't care about Victor Ortiz or Kellan Klutz or Sneeze Ortiz or fucking Drowsy Rousey or fucking Powell. Forgot his fucking name. I literally had to look at what was his name again. So I just didn't care. PG-13 didn't help either. Again, the bad guys must be a mannequin army that Mel Gibson made. You got a bunch of mannequins to move, or they're made of dust. There's no blood. Sly gets in a fight with Mel that lasts a minute. Most of that is with their fight doubles. Lame, short, and then I am the Hague. The Hague is a place where you're supposed to take Mel Gibson alive because he's a war criminal in some kind of prison. I am the Hague. Yeah, that's such a great one-liner. Sounds stupid. And then the ending, they're at the bar, and the newer folks are mentioning Captain fucking Planet. Yeah, mention a fucking shitty cartoon for your shitty movie. Of all the cartoons I mentioned, you mentioned Captain fucking Planet. Not G.I. Joe or Ninja Turtles or Transformers. No, Captain fucking Planet. And then you do fucking karaoke. Great. Jet Li and Arnie look like they're butt buddies now. Like they don't go on some sitcom of, like an alternate version of Three's Company. Jet Li and Arnie, they're butt buddies. Terry Crews is alive. And Sly and Statham do this, and the movie's over. And yeah, are there worse Stallone films? Technically, yes. But I think there's a difference between worst and ones that piss you off. Like if I'm talking about the films that piss me off the most, this is up there with Escape Plan and Bullet to the Head. I would say Escape Plan and this one are the tops for the most pissed off. Now, if I say technically worse, again, Spy Kids 3, but I knew that'd be bad because it's Spy Kids 3. I hated... Has there ever been a good Spy Kids film? No. So what's the, surprise? Rebel. Okay, some 1970 film that Sly did before Rocky. I don't like it. It's horrible, but it's... Okay, what did I expect? Avenging Angelo, a cheap direct-to-video movie that's a romantic comedy drama. I don't like the film. It is one of Stallone's worst, but it's like, this could have been good, and they fucked it up so badly, so it's not one of Sly's worst. Well, it would be my top 10 worst, but it's the one that pisses me off the most, along with Escape Plan. Those are that, and I would say Creed and Bullet to the Head. Those are the movies. The most pissed off I got was probably Escape Plan, and this movie. I don't know which makes me more pissed more, but those are two that piss me off the most. And I said Bullet to the Head, so I mean, but it could have been good. It could have been done better. So much better in so many different ways. Don't have the new cast of new people. No one cares. Get better writers. Get a better director who knows what he's doing. Don't have fucking... The Expendables disappear for 50 minutes of the fucking movie. Don't set up the whole thing where Wesley Snipes gets... He gets rescued, and then he's in 7 minutes of the movie. As I'm doing this, I did sort of a top 10 worst Sly films. And when I looked at it, I'm like, I only put this at number 9 when I made this list the other day, after I got done watching this. I'm like, why would I put it at number 9 if I'm getting so pissed off that it's gone for this long? Because I put Spy Kids 3, Rebel, Avenging Angelo, Escape Plan, Grudge Match, Creed, Driven, Bullet to the Head, and then this one. And like Spy Kids 3, Rebel, Avenging Angelo, I mentioned that. Escape Plan, it's Arnold and Sly together. That should have been the dream match, and it wasn't. Grudge Match. I think because yeah, it's people shooting other people, bang at the end, and Harrison Ford, Mel Gibson, I like. So if I fast forward to those bits and some little action bits where Wesley and Statham get some stuff to do in that finale, but compared to like Driven, where there's really nothing I can say other than I don't mind Stallone. But again, there's worst and there's what makes you most pissed off, and this is up there. I know it sounds confusing, but that's the only way I could put it. I don't know how else to put it. It's just this could have been good. It could have been. You made your PG-13. You had all these new people that no one gives a shit about, and that failed. If they worked, fine, but they didn't work. They failed hardcore. You get a score that's boring. It's just a redo of the score from the first two movies. Hell, get some fucking songs in there that maybe ratchet up the ending. Some kick-ass rock song, like you did in your director's cut of Expendables with Diamond Eyes by Shinedown. Get something like that. Get some fucking blood in there. Get some practical blood squibs and cut out some of these shitty characters. If you took that finale, right? You cut out Victor Ortiz, Ronda Rousey, Glen Powell, and Kellan Lutz, and you just had Sly on the building. Sly, Statham, Wesley Snipes, Dolph. You had those four and Antonio Banderas. Kill off Randy Couture, kill off Terry Crews to make the bad guy more intimidating, more of villainous. Have like 5 guys or something, not 15 guys. And you still have Harrison Ford, Arnold, and Jet Li, but have them land and like Arnold and Jet Li join them, so it's like 7, the Magnificent Seven or whatever, and go to town all these guys, and Harrison Ford's flying in helicopters, do it practically and no CGI, and get some practical squibs, and have either a great score or a rollicking song like Diamond Eyes from Shinedown, or Guns N' Roses or something. Welcome to the jungle or something. I don't know. I so much you to do better, and they don't. They fucking don't. Just fails. By the way, I'm done ranting on this. Almost a fucking hour. But yeah. Thanks for watching. Take care. And fuck this movie.